guys, Freaky Trades here, bringing you another new weekly stock watch list. Before we get started though, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it here. Without much more being said, let's go ahead and dive into the watch list. So, as far as earnings go for this week, obviously tech is finally starting. Netflix was last week along with TSM. Found some good plays on Netflix, took advantage of the after earnings move with that. Going into this week though, the two biggest ones that are a part of my watch list that I look at every single day are Tesla and Google. Now, obviously, you have other stocks like Verizon, Coca-Cola, Intel, American Airlines, bunch of these other important companies that a lot of people do look at, but they're not on my radar. These are companies and stocks that I typically don't look at to trade, so I'm not going to really pay attention to them just because they're not my kind of style of trading. But going into this week, though, we do have a lot going on, so I do expect the market to be a little bit choppy, so we will see about that. And going into the actual watch list here, obviously we'll pull up ESNQ first. You guys are going to get a little sneak peek there first on Shopify since that is part of the watch list. So we have something cooking on that. But before we get to there, we'll talk about ESNQ. As far as ESNQ go, they are in no man's land right now. Meaning, at least for me, is that there's really no clear indications of like real levels anyway. So what I had and what I charted with the class yesterday in the stock hours group is really, just looking for continuation for the high. As far as the downside goes, we actually do have some setups there. We have a actual support that we cannot close below at 62.60, and then our actual support, which is at around 62.30. So those are going to be the two areas that I'll be looking at to the downside. As far as the upside goes, I'm just looking for a continuation for highs. Who knows if we get it or not, right? With tech earnings right around the corner, I'm sure most of the market, it will be depending on how most of those stocks are going to be reporting. Obviously, we have two big ones being Tesla and Google this week, and then after that, I'm sure we have Apple and NVDA and those other stocks that we look at every single day as well. But for the meantime, I'm just looking for a continuation at the high or the two supports that I mentioned here on ES. Next up is NQ. So if I go to NQ here on the 4 hour, we actually have a trend line here. The only issue that I have with this trend line, it is pretty far away from the actual support that we want to play, around 150 points. So the actual support I have on NQ that we had a consolidation for the last 2 weeks is at around 22,800 to the downside. So that's obviously the clear support that I'm looking at for NQ. As far as the upside, same idea as ES, really. There's really no clear indication for the upside, so I'm just looking for any kind of continuation now above 23,300. No clear picture, no clear resistance anywhere really besides the downside, which is, again, at 22,800. So now, to go into the watch list, which I'm sure a lot of people are waiting on, we'll talk about NVIDIA first. NVIDIA here, I do like this enough to put it on my main watch list, only because NVIDIA does have a lot of follow-through, the amount of liquidity it has, everything about the stock is good. It just depends on how it's going to set up here. And the way it's going to set up here with the way I want to trade it will be completely dependent on how the market is going to open on Monday. So let's say we actually are going to trade NVIDIA on Monday. The way I would want to trade it is trade it at the 174 breakout with room up to 174.53, which is the all-time high. And I would treat 175 as its own separate trade as well along with that. But I would want the market to either gap down or show any kind of form of weakness while NVIDIA actually gapped up or is holding its relevant level to where it closed at, which is around 172. If we were to climb to 174 that same day, I would be really interested in it. But again, the big emphasis is that the market needs to be weak, extremely weak, or it needs to be flat while NVIDIA is showing strength. That's the only way I'm going to look to trade NVIDIA at 174. Those are typically where I find my really good plays on NVIDIA is when NVIDIA is showing a lot of market divergence across the market. So that's the way I'm looking to play NVIDIA. Next up is Netflix. If I go to Netflix here, obviously, if we look at the earnings it just had, it had good things to report, but obviously the market didn't take it well, and we dropped over 50 to 60 points, I believe, from earnings alone. Yeah. And some students were able to catch this. I wasn't able to catch it, unfortunately, because I was looking at another stock. Don't know why. It is what it is, though. But I am looking for continuation here on Netflix at this double bottom at 1201. Room I have for this is around 1195. Since that was the last time we broke 1200, it was after hours, including a little bit of pre-market, but the low is around 1195, which is what I have room to. I'm not looking for a lot of Netflix. It is still an after earnings move. That's the reason why I'm looking at this. I don't typically trade Netflix to the downside at all because contracts just don't have any liquidity or volume, in other terms. To really trade it and take advantage of it. But because of the big drastic movement made, there's a possibility that there could still be a continuation on this to the downside at below 1200 being a psychological level on that as well. And then last but not least is Shopify. Shopify here, if I put this on the, if I don't click that, if I put it on the 1 hour or the 4 hour, I think it's the 4 hour, yeah. If I put this in the 4 hour, the most recent high we made on the 4 hour or the daily is at around 129.70. So that is the area where I'm going to be looking to get in at. Shopify won't have earnings for another little while, but the high we made on Friday was 129. So I'm not looking to get in at 129, but I am still looking to get in at around that 129.70 area. But the fact that Shopify had a major move, I don't know what the news was exactly, but the major move that Shopify has had, and it actually held that relevance, like that relevant level that it made on Thursday going into Friday, and actually held it all day. This is a sign to me that Shopify could make a next leg up potentially this week. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not this week. Who knows? But it is on my radar. It is something I am going to be paying a lot of attention to. So, but yeah, that is about it for the watch list, though, guys. Hope you guys enjoy it. With that being said, before you go, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it. With that being said, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday and enjoy the rest of your week and play it safe. Peace out.